Fibonacci series, like there are some systems like 1, 2, 3, 5, right? So I have doubt like why do we prefer Fibonacci series over like the regular number series?
Okay, yeah. So this is a like agile a thing. What they do it, they call it non-linear series. Yeah. So it could be 1 to 8, 16 also, but not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, what is the reason? So say when the things becomes bigger, they becomes difficult to be estimated. So for example, you want to identify what will be a cost of say what kind of expenses you can make in a day. Yeah. Then I ask you what kind of expenses you can make in a month. Then I ask you what kind of expenses you will make in a 10-year. Yeah. So you will maybe initially you may talk in a dollars, then you start talking in thousands dollar, then you start talking in $100. You will not give me a $333 number. Yeah. But if I talk about a day, you will give me a single digit estimation. So that's the idea where they are saying as the requirement becomes bigger, the gap is expected to increase to take care of variability. So if anything is bigger than 5, we better call it 8. It might be 6, it might be 7, it might be 8. Yeah, but we give a gap so that it can take care of that variability,
Okay,
uncertainty in estimation. Yeah,
right. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
yeah, good. So we done with this, and now we move to prioritization. So now it is coming back. We get into user stories. Now forget about user stories, and we are again coming to a ART backlog. Yeah, so we are saying yes, we have identified a funnel area, we have analyzed it, refined it, and we put the feature into the ART backlog. So it's little sequence problem. Now we are a pre-A stage. We are still maintaining our ART backlog. Now we are thinking of how to prioritize the ART backlog. Yeah, maybe they are not yet divided into user story. We don't care they are divided or not divided. We are focusing on ART backlog only here. So Safe is saying we have a special technique for doing prioritization, and that technique is called WSJF. And now there are some theory attached. They are saying in a flow-based system, which means we want to incrementally deliver things continuously, the economic outcome is driven by the prioritization. If you prioritize the item well, you make more money. If you prioritize the item poorly, you make less money. Principle one, economic decision making. So if you have a 10 features to do, and feature one gives you $1,000 and feature 10 give you $100, and if you do feature 10 which gives you $100, you are doing stupidity. Better you finish the feature one which is giving you $1,000 and deliver it and make money. Yeah? So that's the idea. So how do we do a prioritization? So Safe is saying simple. Focus ROI. Calculate the return on investment on each feature and do it. Now this looks great, but it is difficult. How do we calculate ROI for a feature? So Safe will say we have some tool to do it. So let's learn about that too. So Safe is saying yes, we will do ROI, but we will play a guessing game. We will do an estimation of ROI. There is no absolute ROI, estimation of ROI. So how do we do? We need to estimate two things, something called cost of delay. We'll learn about it. And how long does it take for implementing it? So maybe this is a benefit, yeah, this is the return, and this is the investment. And you need to have some mechanism to quantify something called cost of delay. So let's learn what is cost of delay. So cost of delay is a term which tells how much money or how much thing, XX thing, or a value I am losing by not having this thing in my production every day. Yeah. So cost of delay per day or a cost of delay per month. It means if the cost of delay is high, the sooner I do it, I start earning money. So I am missing, I am losing the opportunity. So say someone says, if you have this feature in the production, you will save $1,000 per day. My cost of delay per day is $1,000 because I am not having this feature and every delay day is costing me $1,000, missing opportunity. That's the cost of delay. So Safe is saying we need to have an agreement on some parameter for a features which quantify cost of delay. And then we can divide it by the story point size. We can say, okay, this is the money it takes to develop it. So there is a feature which make me lose $1,000 per day. Now I will ask how much time it will take to do it. The people will say 10 days. So I'm minimum, I need to lose the opportunity for 10 days. But then I says, okay, should we do it now? And on the 11th day, we start making $1,000. So that's a calculation we are doing with the help of prioritization of a cost of delay. Let's see how to do it further. We have some tool to explain this thing further. So this video I will play once I explain you the theory, and then we'll save video. We have our own which is more detailed, but here. So some simple example. It says, assuming you got into a truck rental business and you have 3 trucks to rent, each truck can help you in earning $100 per day. So per day rent is $100. And all 3 trucks required maintenance. They are not operational. Truck A required 1 day maintenance, truck B required 3 day maintenance, and truck C required 10 days maintenance. Which truck you will fix first?
A.
A, definitely. You want to make $100 tomorrow rather than make $100 after 10 days. Yeah, obviously. That is what you have done a cost of delay calculation, and that is what you have done as a WSGF calculation also quickly, because here the return was same, so it was easy to do. Actually, what you were doing, you were dividing 100 by 1, you were dividing 100 by 3, you were dividing 100 by 10. Since 100 by 1 was maximum, you said I will do A. And that's the thing, but it was obvious because one of the parameter was same. Now, similarly, we can do reverse calculation also. For example, we have all truck required 3 days of maintenance, but the A gives you $1,000, B gives you $100, and C gives you $10 once it is ready. Then also I want to go with A first because after 3 days I want to earn $1,000. So the calculation is simple: return divided by investment of the days. And SAFE is saying this is what we call WSJF. Let's learn about it. So WSJF, which is also known as a weighted shortest job first, is saying that we need to give a preference to a job with a shorter duration and higher cost of delay using WSJF. Simple is, this is the formula. So weighted shortest job first is cost of delay divided by job duration, the feature duration. Since we don't have a feature duration available, in a safe word we use a feature size, job size. So technically speaking, we can calculate WSJF for each ART backlog items, features there, by way of calculating cost of delay of each feature, and by way of dividing the size of the feature from the cost of delay. Let's see how to do it, and then probably we can also practice it. So somebody is confused. He says, okay, how do we do it? So you are a product management. You can say, guys, business owners, please come. We need to do a prioritization of our program ART backlog. Yeah, that's what you do. He says, okay, tell me. So you create an Excel file, and here you write all the features. And you're saying, guys, this is our features. He says, okay, good. Now what do next? Then the product management is saying, let's look at all the features and focus on relative business value. So what does it mean? So you ask, out of these 10 features, which one will give the minimum benefit? And which one will give the maximum benefit? And which one will come in between? Can we do a relative judgment there? Maybe we can use some number, maybe a 1, 2, 3, like say in Fibonacci series up to 1 to 20, or some other numbers. Now, what is the business benefit? Anything like a revenue impact, saving money with the help of penalties, anything which is a cost money related things. And you don't have to tell me dollars. We are not saying that this feature will give us $10,000, but we need to see is, will this feature give more than the other one? Yeah, that is the only number you need to put. So we can say, okay, business owners, let's discuss it, let's brainstorm about it and put a number. So they may put start from 1, which one is giving minimum maybe, and then add relative to others, 5, 3, 13, whatever, and maybe a maximum 20, you give numbers to it. You can say, okay, these numbers are given. So business value column is filled. Then you can say, okay, let's do it again. Now this time we focus on another parameter, we call it time criticality. So let me add one more column and say time criticality, TC. What is that? So we are asking, is there any feature out of these which is very time critical, which means there is a fixed deadline, there is a compliance rule, there is a government regulation, something which must be done by that day, like a Christmas feature, it has to be done before Christmas, or there is a payroll feature, it has to be done before the 31st of the date. So do we have any time critical feature here? Or if not, then we give a 1. So again, brainstorming among the business owners and stakeholders and say, okay, maybe they identify no time critical features, they identify some features which are more time critical over others, and relative judgment is made and they put that column. You can say, okay, time criticality is filled. Yeah, and we will have a small video which will clarify this more, but let's just bear it for a while and hopefully things will be clear. So business value column is clear, time critical value is clear. Then I take the third column. I say, let's talk about risk. Which of these features help us in resolving risks or exploiting some opportunities? Like, if we do this feature, we probably can mitigate the data theft risk, give a more number to it. Or if we do this feature, we will capture the customer behavior, which might be useful for our future reports. Give this feature more number in a risk reduction or opportunity enablement, because it is enabling the opportunity. Maybe this feature itself is not valuable enough, but it has a probability of providing data which will be valuable later on, maybe valuable later on. So we can look at all the features. If none of them is sensitive to risk, we give 1 to all. But if something is better, we give the better number to it. Yeah, so we did all. Then the product management tells, let me calculate cost of delay. What is cost of delay? Sum of all. We can say I can sum this, and I calculate cost of delay for each feature. Yeah. So what we have a cost of delay, it's a subjective number. The number is given by business owners. We have 3 dimensions in which this subjective number is taken: business value, time criticality, and risk reduction or opportunity enablement. And by summing this, we do a cost of delay number. Now, some of you were talking about who prioritized the product ART backlog. Is this the product management? I said, yeah, the product management facilitates it, but there is a process around it. So you can say there is an explicit input needed from business owners. You can't prioritize the ART backlog alone. If you are a product management, you need to work with the business owners. Now, only 50% job is done. Still, the denominator is pending. So from where it comes? Then I as a product management will focus on system architect and POs, because they understand the details well, and says, guys, let's collaborate and figure it out. Out of these features, which one is the more time consuming and which one is the less time consuming, where you take a more story point size. So let's do a sizing of these features relatively. Yeah. We may use a number like small, medium, large, t-shirt sizing, whatever makes sense. We have some numbers in mind so that we can put there. Now, cost of delay calculation, which will be dividing this by this. So, WHJF calculation. So, WHJF is cost of delay divided by the size. For each column we create, and that will become our prioritization number. Wherever the WHJF is high, we will take that. I know it might be confusing as of now. Don't worry, 10 more minutes, it will be clear. Far clear. So, we can say that we do WHJF with the help of this formula. Do remember the player in the WHJF, the same player which I have been talking, who is taking care of ART backlog refinement, business owner, product management, product owners, and system architect. And it helps us in estimating the priorities of our ART backlog. So I need to play a small video, and then I can clarify your question, and then we can do a small activity where we can play the WHJF for 3 features which you are going to identify for your work. So 2 activities. One is watching video and then doing it. And in between you may have a question, but hold on for watching a video, then I will take care of the questions.
Weighted Shortest Job First, or WSJF, is a model for prioritizing jobs based on the economics of product development flow. You can use WSJF to prioritize jobs of any type. In SAFe, we use it to prioritize epics, capabilities, and features as they work their way through the respective Kanban systems. This video describes how to calculate relative WSJF across a backlog of features. To calculate WSJF, we need to estimate the numerator, cost of delay, and the denominator, job duration. SAFe uses 3 primary components that contribute to cost of delay. User business value. What's the relative value to the user or the business? What's the revenue impact on our business? Time criticality. How does a user business value decay over time? Is there a fixed deadline? Will customers wait for us, or move to another solution. Risk reduction and opportunity enablement. What else does this do for our business? Does it reduce the risk of this or a future delivery? Does it enable other business opportunities? Job duration can be difficult to determine, especially early on when we might not know who'll do the work or the capacity allocation that can be applied. Fortunately, in systems with fairly fixed resources, job size is a good proxy for the duration, so we can use job size as the denominator. This gives us the following formula for calculating WSJF. Since we're in a continuous flow, we typically have lots of jobs to pick from. That simplifies things even more because we don't have to estimate absolute numbers. Instead, we simply compare items relative to each other to calculate a relative WSJF. Consider these three potential features for enhancing an online bookstore: book reviewing, profile management, book rating. We estimate each feature or row in the table relative to the other features for each of the three components of cost of delay. Then we repeat the process one last time to estimate relative job size. As with story estimating, we use the modified Fibonacci sequence because it better reflects the range of uncertainty in estimates as the size gets bigger. But note that in each column, we always start by identifying the smallest item and giving it a 1. Then we score the others relative to that. Considering first the value to the user and the business, we give the book reviewing feature a 1, as we suspect that only a subset of users will engage with this functionality. The profile management feature is more valuable because it applies to all users and saves them from having to re-enter their details every time they want to make a purchase. We give profile management a 5. The book rating feature is easier to use compared to writing a review and helps other users looking for recommendations. But we think it's less important than profile management and give it a 3. The next column is time criticality. Neither the book reviewing nor the book rating feature is time critical, so we give both a 1. Because profile management doesn't exist yet, there's already a negative impact on customer satisfaction, so we give this feature a 5. The final component of cost of delay is risk reduction and opportunity enablement. Again, we scored book reviewing a 1 since we can't identify any real risk reduction or further opportunity enablement associated with this feature. Because profile management reduces customer dissatisfaction risk, we score it a 5. Book rating opens new opportunities with the ability to sort by the highest rated books and create bestseller lists. We also give this a 5. Then we total these scores to arrive at the cost of delay score. The next step is to consider the job size. Book rating requires the least effort, so that receives a 1. Book reviewing and profile management require significantly more effort, so we assign those a 3 and a 5 respectively. Finally, we divide the cost of delay by the job size to calculate the WSJF. The feature with the highest WSJF is the next most important job to do. The results can be interesting and often not what people expected. For example, while profile management had the highest cost of delay, book rating had a shorter duration and a higher WSJF value. Simply put, delivering the book rating feature first maximizes the value delivered to the customer in the shortest time and provides the best overall economics. So that's the next job to do. For more information, please refer to the...
Okay, so now we can take questions before we do it ourselves.
Yeah, I have question about the third factor in the cost of delay.
Enablement, cost reduction.
Yeah, risk reduction and the opportunity enablement. So is there any particular reason both of these are kept together? Like we could have 4
Uncertain.
factors also?
Both are uncertain. They may come, may not come. Uncertainty. So in the PMI language, they call uncertain positive risk and negative risk. So negative risk are risk and positive risk are opportunity. Since they are uncertain, they put into one column. So anything which might work or might get saved because of it, that's a reason. I think
So
do it right. Yeah, quite.
So I get I didn't understand like how they are calculating the job size.
Guessing game. So it
Okay.
is that system architect
Okay.
and product management, product owner, they
Mhm.
are thinking which one will take more effort, which one is more complex. So the way we do story pointing, similar way, but guessing game. So
Okay.
anything which is a higher number, it means it will take more time to finish that user story or that feature. Yeah.
Okay. It's not about the previous history, how the team performs, the velocity. It's
Nothing
not
to do with
about
the
that,
team.
right?
We don't know the team. We don't
Okay.
even know which team will work on it.
Okay.
By just absolutely looking at the feature,
Okay.
which one is more complex than other, yeah, and relatively.
Okay.
Small item, big item, medium item, like that.
Okay.
Because as of now, the team is not tagged. We
Okay.
still do a prioritization, and after coming up with the high priority, then we'll figure it out. We will have a team attached to it or not.
Okay. Thank you.
Team will always do estimation in a story point. So as soon as team get attached, they will divide the feature into user stories and they start estimating at a story level.
Okay.
And there comes the risk also. Like here we are doing the guess game in the ART level prioritization. But once suppose it is tagged to the team and team identify, okay, it was underestimated or saying, well, team might not know also like what it was estimated there. But for the product management and that group, it could be some new discovery also. If the job size is bigger for that one.
Yeah. So we can take that learning in account. That's a possibility. So now what is happening here is they are getting opportunity to do that estimation here before PI planning meeting. The teams are getting opportunity to do that here, and the team is revisiting that in a PI planning meeting also. But the final plan for the PI will be based on that only. So the feature which are getting estimated by the product management and system architect, the utility of those estimation is only for prioritization and rough estimation of what all can go. But the PI planning meeting takes the input from the team. The PI planning meeting will not finalize that this feature will be done by that team based on the system architect estimations alone. Yeah? And here we discover the issue, we may split it, we may drop it, we discuss it as a part of PI planning.
WSJF is done before PI planning, right?
Yes, WSJF is done before PI planning. The prioritized features will be given to the team, distributed in the team, different teams. These teams will do their story point estimation and create a story, and then they will do together here. And if there is some gaps or they need to be removed something and all, some new discovery can happen during PI planning meeting, and we can have some shuffling also.
The job size is taken from at the backlog level only, or it is considered like after discussing with the team, like
not team yet. Team will do at a story level, because we don't know which team.
Right.
So it is directly at a system architect level. It is directly at a product owner level. Yes. So
Okay.
System architect and product owners. Product owner is a guy who is working on user story. They may have a good idea about the sizing. System architect is a technical guy, so they will make their judgment. And we can say that there could be high variance. Maybe their judgment is 70% right. Team judgment could be 90% right. 10% variance can come later also.
And one more thing is like you were telling that after getting the features and in the ART backlog they give it to during the innovation and planning iteration they give it and they plan it, right? So
Yes.
they before the PA planning itself they'll decide which team is doing that and they give the features to them.
Yes, highly likelihood. So again, that is you need to find out that mechanism.
Okay.
But yes, tentative allocation of the features to different teams gets done before the PI planning meeting only. That time, Ramya, your point will work based on the team history, based on the product owner's skills. This distribution happens.
Okay.
Yeah? And but during PI planning meeting, there could be change in it if needed. We don't want to, but assuming one team is having less work, another team is having more work, or we need to have some dependency issue, final plan only comes in a PI planning meeting, but we give this in advance so that teams get 1 week time to do some technical exploration, understand those user stories in detail, rather than coming in a 2 days PI planning meeting and doing everything.
Okay.
And we will learn about PI planning meeting as we start our next class.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else?
Yeah, one last question. In the risk reduction and opportunity enablement, you mentioned positive and negative risk. So negative risk, I understand that is the right kind of risk. But
Positive
could
risk
you
and
please share one or
opportunity.
two examples of
So
the
as I
positive
said,
risk?
if we
Like
create say audit trail of user, yeah, we may have an opportunity to understand their usage pattern, which can help us in understanding customer preferences. So that could be an opportunity we can enable. Though the audit trail purpose is just to have a compliance detail, but we want to say that because of audit trail, probably we can get some benefits also. Probably, yeah, we can find out something more. That becomes a positive opportunity. Yeah. And because of that, you want to do audit trail first. Though audit trail as a functionality is not needed that early, but since you want to learn about customer behavior, you want to do it early. Yeah, good. So 10 minutes activity time, guys. What you need to do, let me explain. In your team, you have two boards. So hopefully now you remember this. Now, first identify some features. Maybe you can create a hypothetical product or someone can share. Maybe first agree on 3 features. That's the first thing. After that, do the same thing which lady was doing in the video. So you look at a one column at a time, use these parameters 1 to 20 as a guidance. 1 is least, 20 is max. So give a user business value for your 3 features, give a time criticality value for your 3 features, risk reduction also, and then calculate cost of delay by summing all 3. Yeah. Similarly, look at these 3 features, identify the simplest one, identify the complex one, give a 1 to 20 number again as per the job size. You put a job size here, and then calculate a WSJF by dividing C cost of delay with the job size. Yeah. Doing this may help you in understanding this concept a little better and probably generate some questions which we can resolve once we come back in the main room. Yeah. So after this, I just need to brief you about the homework for next week. We are more or less done. So 10 minutes of it, 5-6 minutes of my briefing should help us in closing the class. Yeah. So I share the link of the Jamboard again. Room 2, please go to the next frame. Yeah, you by default will land to a room 1 frame. And see you in 10 minutes. Talk, discuss more rather than just try to fill the board. That will be useful.
Hi.
Hello. So, shall I share my screen? Yes. Okay. Let me raise it visible.
What features can we?
Okay, so which feature I will choose?
Text box.
I guess, yeah.
Hello.
So what feature we can add?
So everyone knows two-factor authentication.
Okay.
Shall I take it there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Let's just do it. And, next suggestion.
Like a two-factor authentication, we can also use like security faces or something like that.
Sorry.
like we have two-factor authentication,
Yes.
right? So we can also say like which was like security phrases.
Security.
Face.
Phrase. PHRAs phrases.
Yes.
Yeah. No, phrase. PHRACS.
Third one. Shall I? Which is like a UI changes.
Sorry.
Shall I update it as the UI changes in dashboard? Like to
Yeah.
update the. Okay. So. Okay, we need to give first one is mentioned to like the least important. I think UI changes is least important, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we need to do this like how many shall I do to UFA and security for this?
OFA would be maybe important for
I give five.
Yeah,
Like
5 would be
I-
5.
Yeah, it is 400. You only and for security phrases. I think
B3.
okay. Okay, time criticality. So, which is least important in like time criticality, for example?
No, time criticality is how much time it takes, right?
No. Like how much faster we need that feature?
Yeah, faster.
Yeah, that will be highest priority, highest points should be given to that. I think UI changes can be delivered later. So we'll give
So time criticality mostly mentions how critical is it required. Critically, it is required now. Do
sorry.
you need it immediately, or do you need it like it can take its time to come back?
Right. So UI changes are like taken less priority, like it can be delivered in like later stage. So I have given one story point for that. And for 2F and security phases, shall I give 5 and 5? Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. And what's long form of this? How do I do it? This represents opportunity. No? Once again, we'll do 1 point here. And okay. So stock delay will be 15.
Alicia?
Okay. And what about job size? Like,
So
What
job
do you-
size, let's say two-factor authentication, I can say around 8 or 13 because it'll take time to do it.
we will start
It's a
from
big
the
job.
smallest one. The smallest one I think will be UI changes, right?
Yeah.
I will do approx like 2 or 3 is fine.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do 2. No, actually, smallest one should be on 1. So as compared to this 2FA, how much shall I give? Hello?
At least, I think 8.
Sorry?
At least 8 is from my view.
Okay, I will give 8. And for security service,
Maybe 3 or 5.
we will give 5.
Let's say roughly 2 there.
Yes.
This can be like 2.5 something.
Okay.
And 3.
Okay. So, by looking at this, like the UI changes will be like stopping item, right?
Yes, or test.
Yeah.
Test value. Wait.
I thought UI changes will be like at last, at the will be last only, like this hero of the game. Okay, we'll leave the record now. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Before I do any commenting, any question for me? All good? Okay.
Sorry, second.
Go ahead, Hugo. Yeah.
Maybe a screen which you're already seeing, right, where we already did some WSJF. Now this is a very close one. Like everything looks more or less very close to each other. In such scenarios, how do you?
So
how do you
again, this is more like a facilitation technique only. Sometimes you may override these numbers also. You can say this is not good, I want to do this only. It's a possibility.